Hey guys, it's your girl Luna and welcome to another episode of The Playlist. Of course, to my right, I've got Jordy.
Big Luna, what's up?
And not to worry, Privy is still here. He's just behind the camera now, being an antagonist.
Instigator chair.
I'm still here, man.
And I know you guys are like, oh my God, they've introduced Luna and they have this gorgeous new set behind them. Guys, you know, I'm now on the show. They had to do a little revamp. Jordy, feel the side.
I don't know if them going to come down in us. So,
Okay, guys, so we've got a lot to chat about today. But first, I want to start off talking about the lyricist, the Melody Michelangelo. Can you guys want to talk about? You know what I'm saying? He paints the graphic images, but with his words. The one and only Vibes Kartel, Mr. Adidja Palmer. Are you a Kartel fan?
Oh, come on now.
Okay.
I think Kartels are good. I do.
Okay.
You're not allowed to say no.
I mean,
And no one is.
Okay, I'm not a crazy Kartel fan, but you have to respect talent where talent is. For those who don't know, Kartel was in jail for the last 13-ish years.
Yeah, 13 years.
And to everybody's surprise, he is no longer incarcerated, which has been a fascinating experience to see his transition out of jail. You know, he hasn't put out any new music yet, but he's put out a Grabba collab brand thing that I've seen so far. Was it something that he revamped?
I don't know. I don't know if that's new. Maybe it is, and I'm just.
I know before he went into jail, he did have some sort of Grabba company or something like that, or something that he was collabing with, and he's come out with his own Vibes Kartel tobacco situation now, which is cool. He hasn't released any new music yet, but word on the street is that he might. He has a concert upcoming in December, which should be interesting. But I feel like the question on everybody's mind is, how relevant is Vibes Kartel in 2024? Now, I know some of y'all like to tussle, okay? Don't fight me. But I think we need to think of in the musical context of Jamaica and the globe in big 2024, post-pandemic, post-Coney, so much, how relevant is a man like Vibes Kartel? And should he be more focusing on his legacy and how he can maybe influence or encourage or support or train the next generation of dancehall artists? Or should he be looking to get back on stage and, you know, like release Grabba? You know.
I mean, no, you're not like. In truth, I'm on the side of. If I don't get any more Kartel music, I'm fine.
Yes.
And I don't think that should be taken as disrespect. I think his catalog speaks for itself. In 100%. My opinion, I don't think I need new music. I think what we need from him now is definitely, especially because he missed so much time. Like there's still he missed so much time where
he needs to catch up. Like his Sanem was just teaching him how to use TikTok.
But it's also like the transition towards like when legacy starts becoming more important for artists. Remember when he went to prison, he was on top of the game.
Yeah.
Like he was that guy. Like, and then that happened, and 13 years, it's like a decade. We have like a whole set of kids who grew up during that time who don't really know like a heavy impact about Vibes Kartel.
I think what a lot of people don't remember is there's been a massive zeitgeist shift, right? As you said, there's a whole bunch of young people who really don't understand who Kartel is. And I think right now a lot of the people that are pushing this like revival of Kartel are people who were in their early 20s and teenagers when he was still out. You know what I mean? I think right now he needs to focus on his health. I think he needs to focus on, like his daughter just got great scores. Like that's amazing. Huge congratulations to her. Focus on his sons. You know what I mean? Focus on building your legacy and thinking about how you can pivot into other ways of making money and ensuring that your name is not tarnished because you're now out of prison after 13 years trying to figure out how to survive in 2024. Yeah, I barely know how to survive in 2024 and I've been around, sir. You know what I mean? Like, so it's...
I'm not saying that he can't release music. I'm saying if he does...
Did you like his last couple bodies of works that he's released, solo tracks or like the full album that he released. Did you like it?
Okay, I usually break up prison cartel, quote unquote, into like segments.
Okay.
Right.
Answer
I
my
break him up
question.
into like segments. Hold on, I'm with you. I break him up into segments. I feel like 2011 to around 2016, 2017, you could call it. I think he was still like the music was competing.
Okay.
You get me? He released a bag of songs that were really good. He was still relevant. Obviously, his biggest song ever, which is Fever globally, is that happened when he was in prison. So, but then, admittingly, the music quality did dip after that time. So,
I feel like y'all been hella political.
How am I
he
being
relevant?
How am I being hella political?
But no, how is he relevant?
I think he's relevant.
Can I get to what I'm saying? Okay. All I'm saying, the music quality has dipped.
Yes.
Since Mark wants us to answer the question so bad, yes, he's still relevant.
But I think he's relevant to an extent. I think his management team needs to really sit down. Isat, Uncle, sit down, regroup, and really think about the person that you're dealing with right now, and then the current state of the music.
Okay, fair.
No,
fair.
No. But I say that because think about this. Chrome, for example, is the DJ or the producer with Kartel's largest discography. They have made insane music together. If them two now were to collab and start a new series, either on TikTok, on YouTube, they're in the studio and they're going through all of the songs that they've made, how they made it, the legacy, what was going on, what influenced it. I would sit down and I would tune into every single episode.
This is where I'm
asking.
So
what's wrong with Isaac?
Hold on. This is what I'm asking. Relevant overall, yes. Do I think Vibes Kartel is relevant to music? No. I would say no.
And that's not being disrespectful, that's being realistic. The game has changed. Trap hall is now a genre that people are actively tapping into. Do you know what I mean? The artists are getting younger. The content of the music is changing. I think we need to think about, okay, who's Kartel gonna take under his wings now and help them develop as an artist? A lot of these young artists have no form of artist development, which is why they have one song, they get a couple 100,000 views on YouTube, they think they're bus. Really and truly.
Which is why I said he missed the time of becoming the quote unquote legacy act. Like, he's there.
I think he could still be a legacy.
No, like what I'm saying, he doesn't need to drop any more music. If he's able to sort out what's going on with his health, of course, get whatever papers in order for him to be able to travel to these places, he doesn't have to have new music.
No.
His catalog speaks for itself. What I want to say is what he can get up to. Like, for example, a lot of people might be able to shift you on that, but even with him and vlogging in a different way, of course. I don't want him to put the camera in front of his face every day. But like vlogging.
And also, Uncle. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. Continue with what you're saying.
But yeah, there is no new. I don't think he has to be known for music anymore like that. Like, obviously,
he can be known as a musician, but you see how 50 Cent pivoted into the whole acting thing down to being a businessman. That's exactly where
that's how I feel about it.
He has enough of a legacy, and Kartel itself, he's such a brand. You could sell anything. We don't need new music from you. I think actually your true fans want you to be healthy again. They want you to reconnect with your family. They want to meet you. You know what I mean? I think that's where...
But what's wrong with Isaac, though?
I didn't say there's anything wrong with him. I just think he, as manager and as somebody who has not been incarcerated for almost 15 years, should say, hey, brother, this is the situation right now. I think we should shift away from let's rush and try and get you on stage. Let's rush and try and get out new music. And how can we?
You're saying Isaac should remove him more from the public eye in order to protect his brand or something?
No, I don't think he should remove him from the public eye. I think it's just strategy. If we're going to be in the public eye, how are we going to do it? Do you really need to be releasing new music right now, or can we go to something else?
I mean, to be fair,
Isaac can't do that because Kartel.
No. But to be fair, again, when I say we don't need new music, I'm not saying that he shouldn't put it out. If you want to, go ahead. My thing is that, and I can hit back on the Isaac thing a little bit. I feel like he's done a good job in I mean, at the end of the day, you can't only represent your client. You can't necessarily tell your client what to do. You advise your client.
Yeah.
You get me? So I think he's done a good job in that. I just think that what Kartel might be suffering from a little bit, and it's human nature, is just overexposure.
Yeah.
He just has not been
I also
in the quote-unquote real world for that long.
There's no culture. It is the real world. I think he's gotten no time to readjust. I actually feel like expecting that man who's severely ill to get on stage at the end of December is a ridiculous expectation. He's not 20 years old anymore. Uncle is, if not in his 50s already, almost there. He needs time to regroup. He needs time to regain his health, get to know his wife a little bit better, reconnect with his family. I feel like there's so much pressure on him. He was in jail for 13 years and still managed to be one of the biggest names in dancehall history ever of all time. Why is there this big rush now to push him out into the public?
You know why though?
No, I mean, I understand why, and I can get with the money thing, but you're actually losing money right now because the public perception of Kartel is changing. You need to teach Uncle, okay, TikTok Live, even if you say, okay, we're on a break right now, we can hear everything you're saying. I was not a fan of him threatening his wife the other day. That actually made me profoundly uncomfortable, and it made me reanalyze the Kartel songs that I actually do like, because I'm like, I know you were always somebody to kind of push badness, but times have changed. You know what I mean? Like, how are you pushing badness?
I don't understand that one. How has times changed in the terms of, I mean, badness was always badness.
Times have changed in the sense that we don't want to be on TikTok Live watching you talk about how you're going to thump down your girl because she was asking for the Wi-Fi password.
The level of sensitivity has changed.
It has changed.
We can admit that since 2011.
Sure.
Mind you, badness is still being pushed in the music. Drugs is still being pushed in the music. Being angelus is still being pushed. Misogyny. So much is still being pushed in the music, which is completely tolerable. I'm not going to say it's fine. It is tolerable, and I feel like he just needs to like regroup for a sec and then come back. I'm telling you, if they got it, I'm not saying bring back like a teacher's pet, which was iconic, mind you, and it's tricky to find online, and it should be made more readily available. But if he came out and was like,
Meet the Kartels.
No, I'm saying like, sorry, I didn't mean to stand out, but like, Meet the Kartels.
Meet the Kartels, meet the Palmas.
Meet the Palmas, that would be crazy.
That's what I'm saying, and that's where
just make them know Kartel, the Culture Outlet would be glad to shoot that show.
It's the relevant. That's why I said when we talk about the relevancy, like I don't need him to be relevant for music anymore.
But I'm curious about him. You know what I mean? Like, no, but for real, it's at Kartel, the Culture Outlet.
Meet the
Kartels,
yeah,
listen to me.
Yeah,
people would tap in, and I feel like, okay, a couple summers ago, I was in Toronto, right? And yeah, they're playing the new dance hall, they're playing the Skin, they're playing the Valiant, they're playing the whoever, but time and time again,
Kartel.
They're bringing it back to the Kartel. I'm telling you, Uncle, shift away from the music. Shift into how you're going to pivot into solidifying your legacy as somebody who this country would be happy to fall behind in terms of
Can I ask you something? This is going to be a Twitter banter. And this is just coming off this topic a little bit. That's like the 4th time you've called him uncle. Is it a thing though?
I think it's a situation where
is that like a younger
some of the more mature men, aging is a tricky thing. And I can understand that aging is a tricky thing. I found my first gray hair recently. It was a very tumultuous experience for me because I was like, whoa, I'm only 25, almost 27. What do you mean I'm gray hair? But then this girl who was looking at my hair for me, I was like, girl, do I really have a gray hair? And she was like, don't look at it as something that's negative. Think about it as like, you're aging, you're growing. Like, it's a privilege to have reached this stage in your life, you know? And I feel like somebody like Kartel, it's like, to me, you are uncle. You're double my age. You're somebody who, I'm also in the same kind of line of work that you're in right now. I look to you as, okay, what did he do, you know? You already went through all of this. You're more mature. I'm not going to call you sir. So uncle is the next closest thing that I'm respecting you while still acknowledging your age and acknowledging that, like, we're not the same. You're of my parents and my uncles and stuff like that generation, which is cool.
I was just wondering if that's like a
no, it's not a disrespect.
No. I wasn't saying it was disrespect. I just wanted to know, like, is that what? Because I met a girl the other day, who in not on Kartel but in a similar style, she was calling somebody uncle, and I was like, is that what we're doing now?
Yeah.
Like,
it's a you're older than me, and I need to know. Refer to you, and
I feel like y'all don't see this other perspective. Imagine you went to jail for 15 years and you came out. you might have a lot of people around you that are telling you, yo, stay in, the social media is this, XYZ, but remember, Kartel was never disconnected from society, truly. He always had a phone. He said it himself. He has been present on social media. So what you guys might be looking at is like saying from your perspective, if I was his loved one, I would have told him, yo, chill. But maybe from his perspective, he understands the risk, but he wants to be outside. It's been 15 years.
He's eager. He's keen. But you have to think long term. Kartel is not a stupid man. He's actually very clever. We've seen it time and time and time again.
You might be too smart for
right? You have to think long term.
But your long term and his long term look very different because he, remember, 15 years behind bars. How me and you look on time?
Different.
Worse, I'm already older than you. You can't tell that man how full.
Yeah, I was about to say. I said this. I think I said this on, shout out to the group chat. I said this on the group chat where I think we as people need to look at it as I've given him grace in that regard. I made a joke the other day saying that how Portmore by itself look to him now must be insane. You get me? So just think about like the things that have like changed in his in life. Like remember him.
There's Fontana. There's
so much things to adjust to when he last saw his children, like just in everyday life. They were so young. I know he's looking on them like passing CXC, excellent results, looking to matriculate into being a young adults, things like that. Like there's so much going on that I have to give him some grace.
Yeah.
Just out of the human experience.
I 100% understand giving him grace, and I don't know if it's that he was kind of looking to his fans to be like, hey, it's okay if you take a beat. But I feel like the day Kartel was released, social media to me was insufferable. The amount of people that were like, when are we getting new music? When are we getting this? When are we doing this? I was like, whoa.
I mean,
give him a sec.
Fans are fans,
You know what I mean?
Fans are fans. That's why I don't like saying like when people call me like a fan of an artist, I like to say supporter.
Yeah.
I try to roll with supporter more.
No, but even Sean Storm, I watched an interview where he was like, 2 days after I get out, I did not sleep. Because there was just so much going on. There were so many people that wanted to talk to me, so many things I needed to do. You just didn't sleep. Like, you've just gotten on your nervous system is readjusting. You know what I mean? This is the first time you've probably been able to have like a good night's sleep.
No, Kartel said
probably near my KFC.
Kartel said it himself. Him say, there was a point. I don't know if it's the same for Sean, but definitely for him, like you'd come out in the day, and by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're back in lockdown.
Yeah.
So him probably outside 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, like, wow.
The sunset.
He said something when he was talking to Isaac, I think it was. He was like, he was sleeping one night in his room, and then he heard a sound like a ring, and he immediately got up and he said, cell 1 or something like that.
Aww.
Because he has PTSD.
That's PTSD.
Yeah. Which is why
he's probably not even sleeping at night,
I wouldn't be surprised, which is why, even if he himself is not like, okay, let me take a beat, I think it is critical for the people around him and true Kartel fans to say, it's cool if you take a beat. I saw somebody this girl, I've been in Jamaica now 5 years, almost 6 years. I saw this girl who, since I've landed in this country to this day, she's been a die-hard Kartel fan. And 2 weeks ago, I saw her post something that was like, it's so weird seeing him out of jail. It's completely changed my perspective of him. What I don't want to happen is because he's just willy-nilly doing whatever right now, he loses some of that fan base.
There's an aura that I don't think he can lose. Where I'm at, the thing with, for example, with the show, right? Obviously, he's trying to ramp up his health to get there. One thing that has not changed with Kartel is the money.
Yeah.
That's where, that's the one thing that has never changed with him is the money. He has a very keen understanding of when to strike, when things are going to go a certain way. Him understand analytics before analytics was a thing.
Yeah, but Jordan, here's what to say to that. I agree with you, and I had the same thought process, but this now, I personally think Kartel should never do music again.
Really?
I think Kartel should go to reality TV series.
I'm with you.
And travel the world and just
show people.
I think he should mentor. I think he should mentor. Do you have any idea how? Okay,
you know, like how he to pause it. You know, like how he did Gaza or Portmore Empire or whatever. That man should be the head of a label, cause he gets it. He gets it.
See now, here's the tricky thing now. I think something that we often forget is that the business side of the music industry, those people are very serious.
He would have to be. It would have to be in collaboration with some. He can't.
Yes,
he can't be the face of it.
He could not be the face of it. And that's no disrespect to you, Kartel, or anything like that. I think it is literally just a situation of you were in jail for almost 15 years. You know what I mean? And it's also like your reputation before you went into jail. It wasn't crystal clean. Going into business in that kind of way would be a little bit tricky, which is mentor somebody. The music industry right now is in shambles.
Yo, listen, if you people keep thinking about this music industry and Kartel, the most money Kartel can make right now is nowhere close to music. If Kartel went and disappeared right now and came out with a book called Kartel, his life story far.
Oh, I'd want the audiobook.
That shit would sell more than anything Sunfest.
That's where I'm at. And I'm with that. Like I said, I'm never going, like when I say I don't need any more music from Kartel. Obviously, I'm not saying to him, don't put out. I'm just saying that, yo, bro, your legacy is set.
That's not what I'm looking for from you.
You're right. No, that's what I said. Same thing with the chapter thing. Like right now, this chapter, I don't need any more music from Kartel.
I think eventually, like next year, however, I would love to see him hop on as a feature for some of these younger artists, especially because I think that there's a lot that could be learned from him.
What we have to understand though, and that's going to be a different discussion, is his ego is still the same, you know. You can tell. Like he's a little like humbler now. You can like a little bit more because he understands where he's coming from and where he's at. But sometimes you can look at him, you know. Sometimes you just see him snap back into that charisma so quickly.
Is it charisma or is it arrogance?
Both.
He never stopped being the world boss when he was in prison.
And I also have to ask, and I'm not trying to be horrible when I say this, are you entitled to the arrogance anymore? Do you know what I mean? Like,
you don't think he is?
No.
The man beat the government system.
This is where Luna, I think
I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not gonna tell you that he beat it the right way. But if somebody fumbled,
he literally beat it the right way. What are you talking about?
Somebody fumbled along the way. This is the situation. It's not terrible. It's just what the situation is. Cool. I did not go to Norman Manley Law School. I will not speak any further on the matter. Whatever. I'm just saying. I think there just needs to be.
All right. You're talking about Mark said about the whole, him beating the system and the arrogance or the quote unquote confidence, whichever words you want to use.
No, there's a difference between confidence and arrogance. So I think Kartel has every right to be confident and a little bit cocky. Every single right. You are Vibes Kartel. Period. Point blank. You can even go by your government. You are a DJ Palmer, right?
Both of them famous.
Exactly. However, I think it takes a very big man and a very big person to recognize when you need to take a step back and regroup because you don't know everything right now. I think it takes a very big person because I think what he would come out with after this would be nuts.
I think the situation is that, and he's very much aware of this. It's like, yo, when he went to prison, we could probably count on the amount of artists that really elevated dancehall after him. It's not a lot. You get me? I think we can all think about that. There's not a lot of artists that really, let's say, put dancehall to another level. If anything, you could say that they maintained it, not necessarily elevated it.
I would say maintain is also a strong word. I think the industry is still around and the genre is still around, but it has evolved. I think the type of dancehall that was around during Kartel's era, I don't think we will ever see dancehall like that ever again. I don't think we will ever. I think the industry has evolved into trap.
Every genre has runs. Every genre has runs, and that was his run.
Yeah.
But I would say, just to put a nice little end to that. For me, it's just legacy. I'm looking forward to the stuff outside of music.
But I want the movie so badly.
I want a reality show. I want to know. Kartel, you are such a brilliant man. I am so curious about what happens up here.
Bro.
I am so curious. The way you put your lyrics together, the way you market yourself or had marketed yourself, who you had aligned yourself with, even the development and creation and maintenance of Gaza Nation. It's astonishing. You are a marketing genius, and I hope eventually,
has an eye for talent,
right? I hope eventually you actually become a professor, because right now I'm studying entertainment and cultural enterprise management at UE, and you as a professor, I would sign up for that class tomorrow, because I know you can offer so much information and insight.
But just remember, Kartel is still Kartel.
Sure.
So yes, you're
it's
talking
going to be an
about
unorthodox
nice
class,
things,
for
but
sure.
just remember.
It says Alicia Palmer, aka
You know how many
Vibes
women
Kartel,
would fight you
man.
against that? Because think about it. You're coming from the rhetoric where he was cursing at his or threatened his wife, right? Remember, let's say that was what he was doing. I don't know that for sure, but let's play with that.
The video evidence is there. Yes.
So let's play with that theory of Kartel, isn't it? If he is that person, even though he might have this wealth of knowledge, El Chapo was a very brilliant man.
Yeah.
But do you want that person teaching at your local college and university?
There is a level of...
No, but it's hold on. While I hear you, I don't think there's other unscrupulous men who have managed to pivot into...
He hasn't pivoted, that's a problem.
No, but I'm saying they have managed to. He can't, there's still time. He's not out of jail. He's working on his health. There's 100% still time for him to evolve into something else or do something.
I mean,
100%.
I wouldn't want him to be like in that, like in an official capacity where he's teaching students, but there's no reason why Kartel shouldn't be like at the head of like conferences, music conferences, media conferences,
the IMC conference
like
that happened earlier this year, even the very culture event, shout out, that happened recently. He's a great panelist. The man is,
I see where you're coming from.
Right? You cannot take away from his genius. Kartel is one of the best marketers I have ever seen in my life. We use him as a case study all the time in my classes because he is genius. You've done some crazy things.
Evil genius.
But still.
All right. I think we've discussed the Kartel. What's next?
I want us to discuss another show that I'm also a part of that I'm really, really proud of how it's been working so far. I want to big up Carlene, who is the mastermind behind SoundCheck.
One goddess,
Jamaica. She's got a great team of Lauren, Cher, Abby, got the Dub Squad Live. For those who don't know, SoundCheck is a monthly dancehall showcase that highlights an up-and-coming artist. The entire point of the show is to be a kind of stepping stone in the artist development journey. I think the reason why, this is my personal opinion, feel free to disagree, my personal opinion. I think the reason why the dancehall industry is as, to some extent, confusing and, let me use a local word, chaka as it is right now, is literally because these artists, there's no real form of artist development. They're not working on their brand, they're not working on performing, they're not working on their lyrics, they're not working on interacting with fans, doing interviews. You would be surprised the amount of people that I've interviewed and they cannot string together a coherent sentence. And I think something like SoundCheck is a great way, even though everything has its kinks that still need to be developed, it's a platform that allows you, the artists have to do 2 rehearsals. They have to come to SoundCheck. They have to interact with their fans. It's a small, intimate space. Shout out Dubwise Cafe. And you can 100% see the difference between an artist that has rehearsed for their performance and an artist that has not. And no tea, no shade, but the artists who just decide to go up on the stage and you haven't rehearsed, we know. I actually will go to the bathroom or leave when you're on stage because it's terrible. It's terrible. We're supporting your music. We want to encourage you and your craft, and you can't even do something like rehearse? That's crazy to me.
Wait, there was an artist recently that didn't rehearse?
Not for SoundCheck, but for like other stage shows that you go to. Or
you can tell when an artist and a band's not in sync,
100%.
Like it's easy.
100%.
You can tell when rehearsal.
You can tell when an artist doesn't know their own lyrics. You can tell when they're out of breath because they themselves are not taking care of themselves and making sure that they can sing their songs live without stopping how many times.
You said something, and obviously, like Luna said, shout out to SoundCheck, gang. You can also see the interviews from the playlist Kulture Outlet. You don't know. Yeah, big up yourself. And big up Mark, big up Probby, big up Triggs. Without them things that don't go on for real. But
Slay.
like where I wanted to go is like is kind of the importance of of SoundCheck, because in truth, it's the same thing you said about like the things that they get to experience along the way. Because, for example, and this is not just like a shameless plug because I've been I interviewed Baker and Stark. It's more of the fact that you get that because a lot of artists do not do interviews.
And I will also say,
it's like almost becoming something that they're kind of avoiding. Yeah. You get me?
But I will say that a lot of artists are not doing interviews, or some artists aren't doing interviews because some traditional media houses are not very nice. And we need to remember, I think a lot of people don't remember that there's a human behind a lot of the artists that we're consuming. These are real people with real feelings who just so happen to be incredibly talented. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like we take away that humanity, so they don't want to talk to us. But then you have entities like the Playlist and other like people that come to interview these artists, and they're more willing to talk to you because they know that this is from the perspective of somebody who, one, respects the industry, but also is appreciative of what goes into it, you know, because you're also a part of it. I think it's missed. But I also will say a lot of these artists, they're nervous to do those interviews. Salk Ashley's very shy. Exceptionally shy.
Yeah.
You would never hear that in her music, but she's exceptionally shy. Why would you want to do an interview?
There is we can speak on it's just human nature. It's like somebody who's just like very good at what they do, very good at their job. They don't necessarily, they're great at it, but it doesn't, for them, it's just like, it's my job.
Yeah.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
You're interviewing me, and it's the same thing about traditional media houses. A lot of them not sticking to, hey, what do you do? Your music. A lot of people try to get a lot personal.
Yeah, you want to ask about somebody's relationship. That's not your business. Me and you are laying up in bed at night? No.
What's wrong with asking about that?
It depends on how it is done. Is your music talking about your love life, or is your music talking about something else?
Okay,
because if your music is not talking about your love life, that's not none of your business. It's not your business.
But pre this then, no? I give you the caveat then, we can take this even worse. If her music talk about sex, why can't I talk about all the shit she mentions in sex? So you can't use that as a thought line to anchor your point.
I can though, because are you a real contributor to culture from somebody who has journalistic integrity, or are you the tabloids? There's a difference, because if you want to be the Daily Mail, that's completely cool, but don't brand yourself like BBC. That's not okay.
That's a bit disrespectful.
It's not disrespectful because it's true.
No,
and
okay,
I feel like
it's not so.
Sorry.
I think that when you have your own platform, such as we have ours, if I want to report on government things, but I also want to report on some salacious stuff, I have the right. It's my platform. No, if you want the whole labeling of tabloid versus something like that,
that's different. That's different, you know.
BBC has their own lane. They might have a lot of similar people, but remember, if you watch CNN, you're seeing certain stories. BBC, you're seeing certain, and there's only a few that meet in the middle.
For sure.
So I'm saying that if I have culture and I want to ask about anything, if I want to ask about how artists invest their money, I think it's fair.
You can ask, but you're also, I think, it's about respect, hey? You wouldn't go and interview Babsy and be like, hey, what's your body count? You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't ask her certain things.
Why wouldn't I?
Because you're
if I want to.
You can, for sure. We have, what is it called? You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. We have, what is it called when you have authoritative or whatever you do? We have personal agency, right? But it's also about being professional, and it's what do you want your brand to be? How are you aligning yourself? What are you really here for? Are you here to talk about the music?
I think there's like a balance. No, I get where he's coming from, where it's like, okay, because at the end of the day, and I think me and him have a similar thing, when it comes to at least long form interviews, not like the shorter ones that we've done for SoundCheck, but for long form interviews, we're kind of trying to be a little more, have the artists be a little more personable to people.
And I think for long form that can work, because you would have gotten time to know the artist in that
But at the same time, there's a level of, like, for example, if I'm interviewing a Stark, a Shensi, a Jada, I'm probably not gonna ask them about their sex life. Unless there's like relationship, public stuff that we know about.
So just like how you would say there's a BBC and then there's a tabloid, if that is the situation, then you have persons that are interviewing for PR reasons and persons that are doing interviews.
No, but
if
wait.
I'm a Shannon Sharp, I'm asking whatever I want to ask.
For sure, but that's his brand, and that can work for him because he's built his legacy
Yeah,
where
that
he
brand
can
is
be
built
in
around
the
Okay, so let me ask you a
situation.
question.
Wait, no, but you
is that
also
same
Jordy made a good point of if it's in the public eye already, like the situation that was
can ask
happening
you.
between Jada Kingdom, Burna Boy, and
Steph, I can ask
Steph,
about that.
it's already in the public eye, right? So I feel like that's fair game. Like I said, it's bringing us back to the humanity of these people in the public eye. It is not your place.
Basically, it's like this. Let's say we interviewing an artist, and her music is of a sexual nature.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna Jordan. I'm not gonna ask her say yo. I might ask her say yo. I might say yo. You talk the thing them in their music do, you know. You get me?
No, listen.
I might ask that you, but then again, somebody might ask yo, who they're having sex with.
Why is it that male artists don't get asked those same questions?
What are you talking about? Listen.
No, they don't. Not even nearly as much.
Listen. I believe I can be a Kizzy TV, and this is for example, I believe that I can ask those questions, but I can also ask real informative questions. You can't tell me Shannon Sharp is different because he built X. No, he's always been Shannon Sharp. So at the end of the day, that you can't tell if Shannon Sharp is a tabloid or a BBC, because in his realm of things, he's paved his own lane. So when I sit down and I ask a question, I believe I'm whether people like it at the start or not, people going to tune in.
There's an informative way, you know. Where we're talking about is being salacious for being salacious sake. Remember, you can be informative. You can
ask the juicy questions as long as it's done, I think, in a professional way. There's a way to even Shannon Sharp, because I would actually say he's in that new realm. Yeah, you have your hard-hitting news and you have your tabloids, but there's something in the middle right now that has been created because it's been created because of social media and this drive towards creating your own content. There's something in the middle that's like a nice balance in between. But also Shannon Sharp has built his legacy outside of that, which is why he, one, gets the people who he gets on his show, and two, can ask the questions that he gets. And even some questions that he asked, the interview he did with Megan Thee Stallion, I couldn't even finish it. And I love Meg. I said, you are dumb.
You watched it?
Yes. I was like, you should not, these questions, what? And I feel like that's what some people forget when they're interviewing female artists versus male artists. Male artists, I find, are often given so much respect for their craft and their outfit, while female artists, it's, oh my God, I saw you were wearing this outfit. Why are body big? Oh, I saw you with this man.
That's a different type of respect?
No. That is no, actually, I don't.
Jordan laughs. He wants.
I'm laughing because Luna's finally experiencing what I told her about.
No, because I think it's just a situation.
But what is their craft? If you're a female artist and you're rapping that your booty hole is what color, or whatever it is, And
also, if we're talking about booty hole being what color, Sexy Red, she is the most hilarious, satirical, ethnographic case I think we've seen in the music industry for a quick little minute. And she is now a part of this very niche, very small genre of female rappers who rap exactly what she's rapping right now. You've got people who are on the extreme, you've got Sexy Red, you've got Sukiana, and then you've got people who are on the other side, you've got Meg Thee Stallion, you've got the City Girls.
I don't think you're on the extreme.
To get back at, you know, where Mark is coming from.
Yeah.
Defend me.
It's dependent on who and what the artist. So, for example, I'm not sitting down there asking Sexy Red about what she feels is the state of the industry. I'm asking her. I might ask her, yo, how deep do you go with the sex?
I think asking somebody like her what she thinks is the current state of the industry would lead to such a fascinating conversation, because she could tell you where she thought the gap was or what was missing and why she felt.
Would I ask her that question? She's rapping about her booty.
Listen, and why she felt that what she's doing right now contributes anything to the industry. I think we always need to remember that these people are very clever, regardless about what they're singing about, because we could also ask the Nigeri, the Skang, the Pablo YG, why they're singing about popping Molly and shoving their cocky in whoever's throat and blah, 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 blah. Really? And so what are your thoughts on, you think that man's going to give me anything logical?
Ask them that. I can tell it straight up.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's just a matter of like, Why is it that you thought that the industry needed your kind of music? You're asking why she's singing about booty hole without exactly asking why she's singing about booty hole.
There's yeah, ask me about that question.
You probably lose them halfway through the question.
No,
but you know what? You know what question they will answer with 100% clarity. Why did they rap about their booty hole being brown?
No, because some of them won't say. I've interviewed Pablo YG, for example. No, but I have. And before him and I walked into that studio to do that interview, I spoke to his manager, which is artists, bringing it back to the point of you need to have sensible people on your team. And I said, is there anything? I showed him the list of questions, which if you guys are interviewers, show people the questions so they're not thrown off guard sometimes. It helps, especially if they're not very comfortable in situations like that. And I was like, these are my questions. His manager told me straight up, you're gonna need to adjust some of this wording, otherwise you're gonna lose him. Do you know what I mean? At first I was like, ugh, Jono, what do I ask now? You know, but I also understood.
What was one of the questions? So we can Pablo YG down it for you.
Yeah, man.
But this is also from the context of I don't really speak patois. You know what I mean? But it's these little things that I think we as consumers of content and we as people who are creating the content need to consider, right? Raja Wild, his manager said he's a thinker. When you ask him a question, give him a beat.
Give him some time to calm down.
Right? Because if you keep pestering him, he's going to shut down. And you're not going to get anything. Yeah. And I feel like we need to, like I said, humanize the people in the industry. Otherwise, we're going to get a situation like we get with Popcorn. You cannot interview that man. Unless he puts something out, he will not speak to you. Period, point blank. And it's because time and time again, you enter a situation, you're like, oh, it's Puppy, it's da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Let me attack him with the same energy he puts out into the world. No, that energy he puts out into the world is calculated, it's strategic. Sexy Red, strategic. Even her gross named lip glosses that she just released. Sexy, girl. Redo that one, that was really bad. But it's in line with her brand. You guys get what I'm saying? And if we tie this back to SoundCheck now, a lot of what they do is in line with their brand, how they perform.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I sit down for an interview with Sexy Red, just like how she has a brand, whoever sits down for an interview with that form of artist has a brand that wants to hear about her type of brand. Their listeners most want to interact, so they're from the same. So if I'm doing an interview with her, I'm not asking her about politics. The reason being because...
Why not?
Because if I'm sitting down with her at all, my brand somewhat wants to hear about her.
Wait, but people didn't think that Cardi B was ever going to be somebody who would be able to contribute in any constructive way to politics. Biden aligned himself with her how quick and fast. What was the name of the old man?
Doesn't mean it's constructive. She just likes money.
No, but people are tapping in though. You know what I mean? And she at the end of the day, she's still a mother. She's still an American citizen. She still has to pay taxes. Why is it that you can't talk to these people about conversations you're having with other people?
Here's the thing. It comes down to, in a way, when you talked about like journalistic integrity, what we need to understand is that a lot of people in the space, in the media space, they didn't go to school for this. They're not journalism school.
I also didn't go to school.
No, but you understand tact. A lot of people don't understand tact. No.
Call name.
They know you that my father. It should be other people don't understand tact.
No.
But there comes a level of okay. There's both sides. You're absolutely right. You could probably ask a Sexy Red about like her politics allegiance or what she thinks is, what's going on in the political system. But Mark can say, listen, I want to delve deeper into why she is the way she is to make it a little more personable. You get me? There's both sides to it. No, again, everything just have a boundary to me.
Yeah, and it's also like she's not the first rapper to be hypersexual.
Right, but I'm not. But I just overall, I just think like there's like time and place. So like for example, maybe on like a more personal platform, like I like to let's say the group chat for example. Big plug, shows out now. That's a more personal platform for people to come on and be involved, speak on certain things. You get me? A little more personable. While maybe we can introduce that on the playlist, for example. But we're definitely trying to get to what makes your like music, how you think about music, the cycle of behind the scenes, things like that. You get me? And then like for our SoundCheck, for example, where you just came off a performance, we might have a few things we want to ask you, like project wise, favorite songs, things like that. But it's based on what you just did.
Yeah. It's also a quick interview.
I can't go. You just come off of the stage and the first thing I'm gonna ask you about is, how's your love life? I feel like that's kind of nuts.
I would ask him, because if I'm on stage and then my ball out like him, girl just left him. Ask him.
No,
but it's how would you ask that though? There's a difference
G,
between
did really listen to that song there, dog, and it seemed like
that's a bit different.
That's different. Then, oh my God, did somebody break your heart because you were sobbing about that song, or you gave us a really soulful performance? What was the inspiration?
It's
behind
time
that
and
song?
place and understanding.
2 different.
Time and place and understanding your brand. That's what I look at today.
It's a huge thing.
You know what? I want to ask some of those artists who inspired this song. No.
Ask them.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great question, because then they'll get to. I think.
Thank you.
Thing is, a lot of artists, or what I've heard from my experience with some of the people that I've interviewed, they get asked the same questions over and over and over and over again, right? And if you watch Vogue did this thing that was like artists on artists. I think Harper's Bazaar also did something similar, and another channel I can't remember right now. And when you watch interviews of artists speaking to other artists, for example, or other people in the music industry speaking to the singers or the rappers or whatever, and the questions that they're asking, a lot of these people are very eager and very keen to tell you about their craft, how they created their craft, how they learned about their craft. But you asking me about which crosses, man, encourage that song. I hate that nigga. Don't ask me about him.
That's the thing.
You heard it in the song.
And that's what I'm saying. It's so this thing that we're doing and attempting to do and want to continue doing is not easy, because
let me ask you something. A situation like SoundCheck, what do you think of it?
In terms of what?
Everything. It is a concept, the location, space, how the fans come out, what the performance is like, the fact that it's acoustic. What do you think?
No, I'm beyond my bias that people might think of. I think there has to be what they're doing. Dance hall itself needs that kind of space, because the thing is that a lot of fans don't get, you can go to see a show, right? Let's say I go at Sumfest, and
Sumfest.
Let me just say, let's say I go at Sumfest, but I'm not interacting with Stark and Baker the same way. It doesn't feel the same. I'm just, obviously the music, where they're gonna, it's gonna be good. And
the intimacy is different.
You're right. What you're seeing is a little bit different. That's why I always ask the question: how does the energy feel? What's the different preparation? Because there has to be a different feeling when it comes to that, and I feel that's a good way for fans to connect with artists, which I think is still, because a lot of artists a lot of artists have, it's the whole mysterious.
They have a persona that makes it hard to connect with their music sometimes.
Right, there's one dancehall artist you could play him for that. Alkaline, it's your fault. You see me? Because you've taken yourself away.
Hold on, I'm glad you called his name. I have something to say. No, for real, I have something to say.
Talk.
You see how Rihanna is an icon? And when she got that little under titty tattoo, everybody got it, but it didn't look as good as it did on Rihanna. When you've got an icon or somebody who did something and it was so good, everybody trying to copy them after that. Boo! Tomato. It sucks, bro. It's not, you're repeating what was already done. So what you see Alkaline did, it worked for Alkaline. Please cut it out, because it's actually really aggravating as a consumer, as an interviewer, as a lover of the culture, as a lover of music. It is very annoying. You cannot copy what somebody else did and think it's going to have the same impact.
You're right over that.
Stop.
Yeah.
That's a lie. You know how many 21 Savages there were?
No.
Do you remember any of their names?
This is 21, bitch. This is 22.
But do you remember any of their names? Because you only just called 21 Savage.
Yeah, that's the thing.
22. There's a
No.
There was a 44 Savage.
But that's what I say. When I say I blame him for it, I mean that it works for him.
Yeah.
The whole reclusive, away, whatever his personality comes off of, it works for him. It don't work for every artist.
It works for Chronix.
Well,
but that's also
Jesus.
Hey, listen,
I'm not saying Jesus
wait for
you
Chronix music.
I'm not saying Jesus can mention it, because I genuinely.
Chronix, like with any lifestyle, you can choose which aspects of it to adopt.
You are what you eat to them.
Shout out to the reggae acts and Chronix. The world is waiting on you for new music.
Want to big up up-and-coming female reggae artist, Joby J. Joby J. You want someone who taps
I know
in,
Joby, yeah.
incredibly talented?
Joby's
Joby
dope.
J. We couldn't have discussed new reggae music and not call that girl's
Joby's
name.
dope.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to discuss, since we're on the topic of music, because it's the playlist, I want to talk about MCs and DJs at parties and events. I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. Are you guys okay? Are you okay? Because when we are at the same party, are you also there? Or are you at your house with your 3 friends and you're just figuring out your playlist? Because if me and you are at the same party, baby, one of us is lost and it's not me. Because what's going on? MCs, sometimes it's okay to shh. That's okay. DJs, show up before your set. Because you're replaying.
If you can, because some of you do be double booked, but if you can.
Or ask somebody to tell you. Have a friend that's there and you're writing down all the songs.
There you go.
You know what I mean? I know some of you will speak to the DJ who came before you and be like, yo, what did you play? And they say, oh, I kept it in this beat, or I did these artists, or I played early. Something like that, and that's cool. But I know that not everybody's friends with each other, but like, we are struggling. We are struggling.
That situation that came out, I mean, hold on, let me.
I think so on a bias.
No, hold on. Before you decide to antagonize me, let me just find so something did come out for this topic, where I'm going to read it out. Somebody he's a promoter in the Jamaican space. He came out with that. He just did an Instagram. I'm going to read it out. It's some feedback from patrons via promoters for DJs. Stop lowering or stopping every song to make a big intro. Do less talking. No money pull-ups or less money pull-ups. Let the songs play longer. Be more creative. Be more diverse in your music selection. Show up on time. P.S. Stop playing for yourself or your colleagues and play for the ladies. This is a party/event, not a clash.
Some of you love man too much. And I'm sorry if there was too much bass in my voice. You love man too much. And it's annoying because the real tea is where the girls are. If the ladies are having fun, the men are spending their money.
Right.
And I'm looking directly into this camera when I say that because I'm tired of it.
All right. So no. I think Luna has expressed herself well in that regard.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's fine. Because the truth of the matter is the problem that I'm having, I will say this. And one, I will say it's, you see the patrons themselves, Jamaican patrons, because there have been times where a DJ play a fantastic set and it's like different music. And I, Jordan, speaking for me, would be like, wow, I love that set. I appreciated that segment. You get me? But when you look around,
the crowd is stiff.
They're not doing much. You get me? No, we can argue from a business perspective, but I'm sure Mark will, that it is up to the DJs to do their job. DJ MCs to do their job, which is entertain. You get me? To make people move. But
wait, no, that's not the DJ's job, but go ahead.
No,
that's not the DJ's job.
I shouldn't try to include you, my bad. Well, you know what I'm saying is that to entertain. No, I get when like an MC or a DJ comes out and says, hey, yo, we try different things. We try to play different songs. We try to be more creative, but it doesn't fall well with the Jamaican, even Jamaican, also like the dance hall patronage, right? Fair enough. It still does not mean that you don't have work to do.
Yeah.
It still don't mean that. Because where I'm at is that a lot of you suck as peers. Like I don't know, a lot of you suck as peers, bro. I know that there's a...
Wait, I'm trying to figure out, are you guys for or against Fireman's side?
Okay, so for context, for people who didn't listen, Fireman recently put out a clip basically saying you guys are talking so much shit about the DJs, but when we make an effort and we try and play something different or we do a creative set, everybody's just standing up. The set might be creative to you. For example, he brought up, I'm just using the words that he used in his videos, but he brought up souls, for example. I'm not going to a party to listen to souls. I think you guys either need to broaden the range of music that you're listening to and not only playing your friend's music or whoever sent you music, but genuinely broaden. And I know that right now the dancehall industry is a little tricky because there's not a lot of music being made for women. A lot of the music is very repetitive. A lot of the beats are very repetitive, but I think it then is broaden your horizons.
I mean, here's the thing, and why I'm not, and this is not me playing two sides, just hear me out. I think the issue here is that, for example, I think I'm a big R&B guy. So, and I'm a big R&B guy, I'm a big souls guy. So when that segment happens, I enjoy it.
When in the party is that segment happening?
That is the problem. Mm-hmm. It's also about choosing, same thing with the creative, choosing when you're playing, there's also a where you're playing.
Yeah.
No, Jordan, go to, let's say I go to Top Bar when I'm doing them R&B event, like having an R&B party. Mm. That's me.
Yeah.
You can ask my friend them. I'm in there singing, chopping it up, dancing, but I like that stuff.
But that's also like a contained space that's intentional.
No, I agree.
With the music.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, for just the regular party goer, like somebody that goes to, I don't want to call nobody event name, but like somebody that goes to like a East or one of these events. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not every time you go to the soul segment, it's gonna be received well. Mm-hmm. Like there's a level of there, like I get it, like I just said about the patrons, like them hard for please. And sometimes I see a DJ up there at work and I'll be like, yeah man, that set their bad, and then everybody's like,
it's alright. So
it's also obviously opinion based. But it still don't mean that the DJs and MCs don't have work to do. Especially the MCs, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all.
I'm just saying I have a different perspective.
I'm gonna chat too much sometimes.
In the most polite way,
I don't know.
You mean talking on stage or talking off stage?
On
stage. Them chat too much sometimes where they do not give songs time to breathe.
But here's my point, bro. 3 of us sit in the same room, right? And we all have our own perspectives on the matter. But look at the perspective of, I don't even think Fireman should even reply, because guess what? When somebody book Fireman for perform, guess what I'm going to do as Fireman? I'm going to perform the way I want to perform because I am Fireman. When you go to Beyonce, listen up. When you go to Beyonce,
disagree, my bro.
Wait, no. When you go to see Beyonce, right? You are expecting to get Beyonce. Wait, let me finish because this is a very good perspective.
Okay.
When you go to see Beyonce at, let's say it's the festival that went and happened the other day up Wireless Music Festival.
Yeah.
You're going to see Beyonce, you're going to see Mariah Carey, you're going to see Jay-Z, you're going to see a list of people, and you might even have different stages, but a lot of the times it's on one stage, it's a lineup. Mm-hmm. The people that came to see Beyonce perform are expecting Beyonce to perform what she wants to. The people that don't even know Beyonce or just slightly know her are only going to want to hear certain songs, but she might even want to perform one of the newest ones. Mm-hmm. Looking now into a DJ's life. A DJ can make his own party and perform there because people come and see him. Fireman is on a lineup with Brush One, with all these different persons. If I'm coming and I want to see Fireman, I want to see Fireman perform some of the songs in the way. If his style is talking too much, and that me want to hear, I come to see a Fireman perform. The problem is when some of them DJ don't stand firm in themselves and just simply say, yo, listen, I saw me perform, these are the songs I play, and I was booked to do I am my own Jay-Z.
Wrong!
Why not?
Beyonce reads the audience. You think if Beyonce knows she's going to go perform at Wireless Fest, she's not going to send her team to do some recon on the history of Wireless Fest, the demographic, the location, the time, even what the weather is going to be like.
Let me ask you a question.
What are you even talking about right now?
I'm not trying to single homeboy out, but for me, it's like this. Okay. You see hardcore, like real hardcore dancehall. Like if you've been to like real like dances where the mic man just had chat.
Yeah.
That is a part of hardcore dancehall culture. What I have a problem with them, man, is not that every event that you go to, yes, dancehall is the biggest genre in the country, you know. But it's not every event you go to, I need you to be chatting over the song, bro.
Not every event is a dancehall event.
But we're going to get into that with promoters. We're going to get into that. What I'm saying to you is that,
promoters, girl.
If I, bro, you want to know what annoys me? I'm in a party, and this is an opinionated thing, so let's not take this as a general thing. Reading the comments though. But if I am in a party and a DJ, I know say the DJ both for drop big breeze, bro. You as a mic man are talk through the top shotters is back part. Them a chat through some of the most impactful parts of songs, bro. That is what I mean when I say you chat too much. Yeah. Because the impactful part of the song,
that's what I like though.
Then you go and do that in your house when you're on live.
What's up?
You were paid to come and entertain the crowd.
I would have done it, but you paid me and asked me to do it here.
No. That is speaking from such an ignorant place. And I feel like this is the research that some of these people some of the DJs and some of the MCs, you're not doing. And I think that's where the massive gap is. There's an older generation of DJs, right? And a newer generation of DJs. When I think of the older generation of DJs, I think of Chrome, I think of Liquid, I think of that's all that's on the top of my head right now, right? I think of the newer generation of DJs and MCs. I think of Fireman. I think of Brush One. I think of Fatalic. I think of, you know what I mean? And I feel like you can tell the newer generation who was learning and watching from the older generation in terms of how they manage the crowd. There's a big difference. Even if you have hired me for an event, if I am hired, okay, I'll use myself as an example, right? I consider myself a freelance host and an interviewer. If I am hired for a school event versus if I am hired for a SoundCheck, you are not going to get the same Luna for both of those events.
Bro, some of them man did them soca party and chat the same way, bro.
It's my fault. Me jumping at somebody else's conversation. This is the last thing we'll say to it. Is it make we also have to move on to the next one. What I will say, and you can retort, is if I am home and I pour Pepsi into a glass, somebody comes over and they see me pour the Pepsi and they say, yo, I'll pay you to pour it again. Mm-hmm. Cool, and give me $20. And then he carries me in front. Yo, can you pour Pepsi in front of my family? Mm-hmm. And just like the guy that's just like Salt Bay, they like XYZ, and then pay me $20 there. And then, no, this person has a show and they want me to pour Pepsi over there as well. And they have a list of other people. Some do sprinkle salt, some jump up, some talk too much. But my thing is that I pour Pepsi. Guess what me I go do? Me I go there for pour Pepsi.
And I'm with you.
Don't book me if you have people in the audience.
Brand alignment. Brand alignment.
All right, but that's
not up to me.
Guys, but hold on. That's where I'm getting at too. It's not only I'm not only calling out DJs and MCs. Promoters have a lot to do with this.
I have so much beef with the promoters in this country.
Promoters have a lot to do with this.
I have so much beef with the promoters in this country.
They have a lot to do with this.
What's going on at home? What's going on?
They have a lot to do with it.
We're so bored.
They have a lot to do with it. And listen, and if it's a situation where you are informing the DJs or the MCs to go how you want them to go about certain things in your party, and then now listen, then this is a different thing.
But it's also like, you don't have any pride in your craft? Are you a one-trick pony? You don't know that you're coming to different places. Are you going to speak the same way in front of your mother that you speak in front of your friends, in front of your girl? No. Take a little pride in your craft and realize, I'm in this situation. Let me come early and check out the audience. Artists come and do that. The artist is supposed to come and sing at 1 o'clock. The artist is there from before because good artists, right? Good artists, they will come before because they want to scope out the audience, see what's going on in the crowd, see what the vibes are like, see what they need to add. I feel like the DJs and the MCs, they're not doing that. You're coming on stage and there's a huge disconnect, and I know you're up there feeling the disconnect.
And I'm not talking like, listen, I know that game where it's like, yo, a DJ sometimes have a booking before, so they have to deal with that, then come here to come to the show. I'm not talking about when those things happen.
No.
But I'm talking about, like, that sometimes sets don't feel intentional. Sometimes I know Fairfax, some of them DJ are load up the same set.
Yeah.
The same set, bro. And guess what? I understand, it's a job, and a job becomes monotonous.
Yeah.
I understand the human element.
That's where it comes.
You get me?
Okay, I can tell you right off the top of my head, Fatalic, Tonio. Those are two DJs I can confidently say that I have gone and watched them perform somewhere, or I've been at an event and they're playing or something like that, and they are tapping into the audience. They're bringing something different. It's fun. Their gal segments are always so exciting. You know what I mean? They're not playing the one Taylor Swift, one little bit of this City Girls song, a little bit of this Shanty, and then they're dropping right back into the gun. Like, it really becomes a thing of, I don't know if you need to tap in more on social media or maybe just go to an event that you're not playing at.
Come on, a little less ego. A little less ego. I can't call it out. There's a little less ego amongst them. There's a lot of, that's why I said they suck as peers.
Yeah.
They do. They suck as peers.
No, I was going to tell you, so it's wrapped up now.
Okay. And I just want to say, this was not like we're attacking anyone or anything like that. This is
genuinely... That was a bag of javelins thrown.
No, but I'm saying it from the person.
I'm friends and really cool with a lot of DJs. Yeah. And I know promoters. This is nothing that I've not said to nobody.
What do you mean? Wait. No. But didn't you even address somebody in the camera in this episode?
No, I did because I want you to hear me when I'm saying this. I'm not saying this as somebody who, and I know people are going to be in the comments, oh, look, she's got this foreign accent, so who is she to come and say anything and da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, you chronics, you.
Right? I'm not here. I'm not here to attack you, and I'm not here how to tell you to do your job, because I know I couldn't get up there and play a whole set. Me, I like to play in my car for me and my dog, or me and my friends. You know what I mean? But I'm saying that if this is the profession that you've chosen, if this is a profession that people are aligning you with, and this is something that you're being paid to do, take pride in your craft and realize that the same sets you were playing 3 years ago, a year ago, the same talking you're doing as an MC, don't bring it back. It gets dull. Don't you want to hear people say, yeah, I went to that party and it was so much fun?
I can literally name the things that should there's time and place. There's
do your research.
A little bit more creativity in some of the sets. Like and guess what? I completely understand that what you're doing up there,
it's hard.
It's difficult. So let me not just say I think on the job easy, because it's not.
Very hard.
I think it's one of the hardest things to do.
Ever.
But where my issue comes from is I always try to give leeway. But then I reach a certain point where, you're still just doing the same thing.
This is terrible.
Like, you're still just doing the same thing, bro.
Miss, you chat to the wrong person. Don't talk to me, the DJ. Talk to the man who book me. But I'm with you. I feel like promoters also have a little bit if you have a problem with I do, speak to management or HR.
It's everybody. Because if we keep passing off blame onto somebody else, what happens to personal accountability?
When you go to work on a daytime, if you had a 9 to 5, and you have a co-worker that says something, or a customer that says something that don't like you at all, aren't you just going to say, well, speak to HR about that if you have a problem with me?
No.
No, here's the problem. And we can literally end it here. This issue is an encompassing thing. DJs, MCs, promoters, patrons. Patrons don't get way because you guys suck.
Sometimes you are a bit stiff, you know.
My understand say, we're in a culture now where it's social media and it's about getting off the fits and getting off the flicks and all of these things. Some of you make money from these things, so I'm not hitting it. But let's not, we can't just
even
sit
a little
here,
sway girl, a little bop.
We can't just sit here and be like, yo, it's just them. Yes, they have them part to play, but you guys also don't make it easier.
No. Hey, sometimes when you attend a party that's not yours, go incognito. Wear a hat, wear all black, and be in the audience, be in the crowd. Don't be backstage or in VIP or something, be in the crowd. So you're really feeling the energy of the party. I think it makes a really, really, really big difference. Don't just be in your own little bubble. If we're all just in our own little bubble, we're not learning anything. Nothing new is coming up. It gets very stale, very boring. You know what I mean? Like, we want to come spend money. Don't you want to party?
They know me.
Hello? You know what I'm saying?
They know me.
Anyway, it was all love. I hope that those who needed to got something constructive from this. If you have something to say, if you agree with anything that we chatted about here, if you have any advice, or if you guys
disagree.
Yeah, or if you disagree, or if you want to produce Keeping Up with the Kartels or anything like that, make sure you drop a comment down below. I'm Luna.
This is Jordy.
And this has been The Playlist. Oh, we forgot our favorite antagonist behind the camera. Mike, say that.
Look at her.
Big up, guys.